All right, Mr. Smith. Well, thank you again for agreeing to meet with me. I really had a great time at that conference getting to chat with you a bit.
Yeah, likewise. No, it was a really good show, and yeah, glad we got to meet. I had a lot of fun just walking around on the expo floor. Got to meet a lot of good vendors I'd never heard of, and it was quite eye-opening to see all the technology that's out there that I could be using, but I'm not. And so that was good, and also the show itself. I mean, did you get a chance to go to see the guest speaker and the keynote speaker?
Oh yeah, I mean they were fantastic. It was probably my favorite part of the conference, and I mean that show was completely amazing. I'm always shocked that they're able to get these huge artists to come and perform at these kinds of things, you know. But I mean, I definitely enjoyed it. And yeah, you're right. I mean, the technology that's out there now is just astonishing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But anyway,
All right, well, let's get down to business then, shall we? So before we get started, I just want to quickly run through a few questions, you know, kind of see where you're at, and then after that, we can just kind of go through my product and what I have to offer you, and at the end, if we see that there's a mutual fit, we can move forward. I mean, does that sound okay?
yeah, perfect. No, I'm really looking forward to it. Far away.
Okay, perfect. If you don't mind, I'm just gonna write down some notes.
Please.
All right, perfect. So first off, why don't you start by describing your current process and your travel expense reporting?
Yeah, so currently we just have all of our reps, you know, the folks that have to travel. They just fill out an Excel spreadsheet with what the item was, the date the expense was made or incurred, and what the total value was of that expense. And then they'll scan all of those in. They fill that out and then they scan in all the receipts that correspond with each item, and they email that off to finance.
Oh wow, I mean, that sounds tedious.
A bit.
Yeah. I mean, so how frequently are these reports submitted?
Right now it's once a month. We do it on the end of the month.
Okay. How much time would you say that takes for your employees to do?
So I would say that if the receipts were kept diligently throughout the month, then it's 1 to 2 hours. But obviously, you know, a lot of people don't do that, or they lose the receipts, so it can take a lot longer.
Right. I mean, does your staff currently have any complaints about the expense reporting?
Yeah, definitely. They're often coming to me, or I catch word around the office that someone's whinging about the process.
Oh, that's not good. So what dollar value can you assign to the hours of the expense reporting, would you say?
So we have about 100 employees who fill travel-related expenses each month, and like I said, it's about 2 hours on average, and the average hourly rate is $50 an hour. So my math's correct, that's about $10,000 per month in time spent doing these reports.
Oh, that's quite a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could improve the travel booking and report process in one way, what would that be?
Well, I guess it would be to have them all doing the same reporting process as each other, of course, but having it tracked and submitted automatically in a streamlined manner, and not filling out cumbersome spreadsheets and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like night and day. I mean, if I may, if we could just switch gears a bit and talk about the aspects of your corporate travel situations. So do you currently have a way to track your employees, you know, and whether they adhere to the company's travel policies and expenses, things like that?
No, not really. I mean, I think it's doable, because one could just go and look through all the receipts and make sure they're booking on the right airline, or go back and historically look at the date and time of a flight and see if there was a cheaper option, or look at where they flew to and see if there was a cheaper hotel chain to stay at. But obviously that's just a thankless task, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So if the employees are all following these policies, how would that impact your travel budget?
I mean, I imagine it would be reduced, because I was a rep once. I mean, we'd often book something that was a bit inefficient financially because we wanted to get somewhere quicker, or we wanted to stay at a nice hotel, or get a better seat on a plane, that kind of thing. So, I know it would definitely go down.
Yeah. So how do your employees find out about like flight delays and things like that? Are they pretty up to date when those kind of things happen?
Well, all too often it's probably 30 minutes before a flight when they arrive at the gate. They roll up there and look at the screen, and it's got the red letters saying delayed till a different time.
Yeah. So can you quantify how much time is spent waiting in airports, and what your employees have to deal with knowing about delays and things like that?
Not terribly accurately, but yeah, I mean, you could probably say 1 hour each month per employee, so 100 hours, and with their current average salary, that's $5,000 of time each month.
Oh wow. So another thing I want to ask you is whether your staff takes advantage of, these reward programs the airlines have, like American has their One World Alliance, things like that, and getting status. Do you know if any of your employees are involved in any of those programs?
Yeah, I mean, some avidly, and again, that's why they might book a flight that's completely out of the way just to make sure they're on American or Delta or whatever. Most don't, though, to be honest.
Yeah. So if your staff had, loyalty to a program, how much do you think the company would save on travel?
Yeah, I mean, when you book more and more with an airline or a hotel, then obviously you get reward points. So there's a question there of who actually owns those points. But I think, in the grand scheme of things, if they stuck to the same program, I think they could probably save in the region of 200 per trip or something.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, so from speaking with you today, it seems that your process is costing your employees a lot of time and a lot of frustration, and therefore it's also costing you guys quite a bit of money. It would also appear that your employees follow, if they followed a streamlined and digital planning thing, that would really help with the budget and help with not wasting time. Would you think that this would be accurate if they had, something more streamlined to follow, that it would save you guys more time and money?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate, yeah.
Okay, cool. And to add to that, your employees are also not adhering to the company-wide travel policies, that you know of. You could go back and check, but like you said, that would be quite tedious. Furthermore, travel employees are also, they're not really well informed with the delays and things like that, so that's also costing you guys hours and money and stuff like that. Would you agree to that point as well?
Yeah, definitely. It's, as I've said earlier, it's difficult to put a dollar amount on the former, but
of course.
Yeah, with a lot of digging around that could be found, but yes, I think that's a fairly accurate synopsis.
Okay, great. So given these pain points that you've kind of pointed out, I think that what I have to show you will really help. I think it'll cut your reporting time by about 80%. It'll force employees to be more efficient with their time and their reporting. And I think it'll cut down wasted time at airports and things like that. And it should also help, appease your employees from being so frustrated with the current reporting process that you have. Would you have time to go ahead and take a look at that then?
Certainly. I haven't got a lot of time, but if you could give a quick overview, that would be good.
Perfect. Okay, so let me just pull up the app. Okay, here it is. So this is what it looks like. So what your employee would do is they would go over here, they'd click on this, and I'll just log in just so you can see. So I put in, my info, and then here I am. So there's a bunch of little icons up here, and they all represent something different. So if you click on this little picture app, you can hold it over a receipt and take a picture, and it'll automatically file it into your report. So you don't have to waste time with, keeping your receipts for one, and then also having to go back and, do it manually. Another really good thing about this is, if your employees are using things like Uber, Airbnb, things that have, emailed receipts, it'll automatically go straight to the app. So it'll be added there as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. It's really helpful. So that's that part about
and then that's just, it sends it all to finance for me?
Yeah, it just sends it all to finance for you, and everything is done real time. So they're currently getting updated, and they don't have, the finance team doesn't have to wait around.
So if I lose one of those paper receipts, it doesn't matter once it's already stored in there.
Exactly. I mean, you can literally just take the picture and just toss the receipt, because it'll be stored in here, and it's never going to go anywhere. It'll always keep the memory of until the report is completely done.
Oh, that's very quick.
Yeah, so I mean, it's extremely helpful because everything's done real time. That saves so much time on having to go back and do an actual report. So another cool thing that I wanted to show you about this is if you click on this little airplane app right here, it'll go to booking. So it'll make sure that your employee is following all the guidelines within the bookings. So if they're flying American, for example, they won't have an option to choose a first class seat. So it'll keep them within the policies, and it'll keep them from splurging on their unnecessary expenses, which is going to in turn save you money. I'm sure that you could probably set this so that you could book your first class seat if you wanted to, but
obviously.
Yeah, exactly. But for the rest of them, they're gonna have to go sit at the back of the plane.
Yeah.
So this is gonna make sure that everything's being kept, adhering to the policies that you guys set for them, and you guys will be able to go in there and set certain policies. And another thing about this is once here, I think I have a trip coming up in a couple weeks, I can pull that up. And so let's say it's a few days before my trip, it'll let me know if what's happening with the flight, and even up to hours before, to let me know if things are on time, if there's a gate change. It's quicker than arriving at the airport and then after you've already gone through security and stuff, seeing that you're in a completely different terminal and wasting time and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
yeah, so it's definitely keeping you up to date with any kind of delays and things like that.
Got it.
Yeah, so I think what I would recommend for you would be the small business package, because that serves about 50 to 200 employees rather than the premium package. And that would help with all the intense travel. And now you said that you've spent around $10,000 in man hours, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Well, we're offering this for just $10 a month per employee. So with 100 employees that you said that you roughly have, that would be $1,000 per month. So instead of spending those $10,000 every month, you're saving $9,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so everything's being done for you. I mean, that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, very cool.
Okay, and you also mentioned something over here about $5,000 are wasted in unnecessary time at airports, things like that, I believe.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, just in the time wasted on delayed flights.
Yeah, so from the look on your face, should I go ahead and get the paperwork going? I mean, are we ready to move forward with this?
Yeah, I mean, I do get that value, and thank you for explaining all of it.
Yeah, of course.
Particularly those last few points, I'm all sold on that. My fear, though, with the expense reporting is that we have everyone who's so used to doing a certain way of things. We're very busy, and I just don't really want to have to go through a long cultural change and distract them from their actual work.
No, I completely understand that, and I can understand the apprehension, especially with technology and stuff, especially if your employees are used to, more archaic forms of expense reporting. But honestly, it's so easy to use, and our team will walk you through your whole team through the initial reporting and get them through the app and stuff. And from there, it's so easy. I mean, I can honestly tell you that, if I gave this to my mother who never travels, she'd be able to navigate it because it's that easy.
Right. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
However, as archaic as these Excel spreadsheets are, they do work. They are reliable, and we're an older company and a bit skeptical on technology in general, so I'm a bit worried about the resilience of the app.
No, I mean, I completely understand that as well. Technology can be, doesn't always agree with us. It can be a little fickle from time to time, but, I've never received like a support call from a customer who has had complaints about the app collapsing or failing or freezing or anything like that. It's very well designed and very well run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that gives me peace of mind. I definitely want to pull the trigger here, but I think I'm going to need to wait until next month just because we have our board meeting and I want to be able to run it through then.
No, I mean, I completely understand that you want to go ahead and, talk to your board. The only thing I would mention, though, is that if you're going to meet with them, next month, that's a whole nother month of, about $14,000 that is being wasted. I mean, if it were me personally, in your shoes, I would rather go ahead and just pull the trigger and go to my board meeting the next month and say, that you've saved them all this money rather than explaining this to them. And then maybe they're like, well, why did you wait another month and waste $14,000 when you could have just done it?
Yes, that's true. It might be one of those situations where it's better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I guess I'll go ahead and get the paperwork set up then.
Yeah, all right, go on then.